My name is Matt Roberts. I'm the Marketing Director for Big Data and Strategic Innovations at Amdocs. I'm here at the Big Data Seminar for Eurocommunications 2015, and today I'm going to be talking about big data and how it's gone from a hype to a reality for the service provider community. Hello everyone, my name is Matt Roberts. As Mark introduced, I'm the Marketing Director for Big Data at Amdocs, and I'm going to talk today about some of the learnings that we've seen in the last 12 months. 12 months ago, we talked at this event, or I did, and we just announced to the market a holistic big data strategy and a new platform. So what's happened in the last 12 months? That's what I'm going to take you through right now. Hype. Big data has been a huge amount of hype. Not in the last 12 months, but the 12 months before that and the 12 months before that. Indeed, if you look at Gartner's hype curve, they plot all new technologies on their hype curve. Big data was always sort of in there, approaching what they call the peak of overinflated expectations. It reached that about 18 months ago, and then it goes into something known as the trough of disillusionment. I love their terms. Okay, these are Gartner's terms. Once it's finished in the trough of disillusionment, it comes into the incline of enlightenment. Right? And this is where all the hype starts to disappear and the reality, the benefits and deployments actually start to happen. And I'm pleased to say we're moving into that incline right now. So gone is the hype and here is the reality. What we've seen at Amdocs in the last 12 months, and we look at the hype and where the press is focused, where analysts are focused, where customers are focused, and what have been the big talking points. And I've broken it down into three distinct layers. I call it the hard work, the toys, and the money. It sounds like a title from a pretty strange movie. But if we look at it this way, the money or the value in big data is the analytics. Okay? That's why we're getting involved, because as Richard mentioned, there's distinct quantifiable benefits from deploying analytics within a business and externally. That's what the driver is. So there's been a lot of focus on that in hype and press and talk and customers, and also the toys, the new technologies that allow that to become a reality. If I had a penny for every time I've heard the word Hadoop in the last 18 months, I wouldn't be stood here, right? It's, the technology, whether it's Apache, Hadoop, Spark is the latest big thing. IBM put out a press release on Spark, which is another Apache open source technology that allows streaming analytics. There's been a big focus on the toys, I call it, as well, whether it's Hadoop, distributed computing, Spark, Hive, Plug, so on and so on and so on. A huge talk about that. And that's where everybody's focused. I want the platform, I want the new technologies, I want to be able to put those sexy analytics on top. But the third layer that is overlooked, and we're seeing right now, I call it the hard work layer, or the data sources. It's getting that data into those toys and then applying the analytics on top. And I think the best analogy to look at it is almost like a car. The analytics is the combustion engine. The platform is the car itself, the steering wheel, whatever you have in your car. The data source is the oil. And it's the oil that is the piece that is overlooked. 90% of all big data or BI projects, time is spent on the extraction, transformation, loading, cleansing, getting that data ready for analytics. And that's the piece that has been overlooked, I think, in the last 12 months. The analogy could be, I've just got a great new car, it's super quick, but if I don't turn up at that petrol station, I can't fill it with petroleum, it ain't going anywhere. And this is what we need to focus on. So let's look at some of the challenges. I've heard it today, data-driven business, what we've seen across our customer base. Obviously, they want to drive more insights from actionable analytics. They need to reduce costs. The traditional, and it was mentioned in Mark's survey results, where you talk about legacy infrastructure and siloed data. The traditional enterprise data warehouses are creaking at the seams. They cannot scale efficiently to cope with the delta deluge that has been thrown up by big data. It's enormous. You need to transform to cost-efficient, high voluminous storage techniques, whether it's Hadoop or whatever. So you need to cap the spend in your data warehouse and move to these more cost-efficient, high voluminous technologies. And operator service providers need to do this. Plus the data capabilities. One of the keys is collaboration. No one can do this on their own. You need to open up your data to third parties. Then you start blending data, not only from the stuff you create internally, but from third parties. It's almost like, I think about it in a drinking analogy, maybe I shouldn't, but it's like creating a cocktail. I'd like to add more, my wife goes crazy, I'd like to add more alcohol to that cocktail or more different things to create a different blend. And that's what you can do if you can open up your data to third-party infrastructure and capabilities. The other challenge we see, and it's been mentioned again today, is there's very few service providers out there that have the holistic organization to drive a single big data strategy. Adora from Ovum, it was mentioned in the quote as part of the survey, this still isn't happening. I remember 12 months ago, at this very event, I said one of the challenges we see is there's very few chief data officers right now. We know that they exist in the city here in London, in banks, in healthcare, but they still do not exist in telecoms. I found one, and actually he'd only started the day before and his job title was completely wrong. He was responsible for something else. So it's still not actually happened. So everything is driven departmentally, whether it's analytics to drive customer satisfaction, net promoter score, marketing, that is going to be huge. IT, moving to more cost-efficient, high voluminous data lake technologies, and the network, optimizing your network. So the challenges we've seen in the last 12 months, the extraction and cleansing of the right data, the move to the new data management technologies. It's okay to have a data lake. Hey everyone, I've got a data lake. It's really cool. But you've got to hydrate that lake. And you've got to get the data out of the systems and into that lake, clean and analytics ready. And you've got to do it quick. Here's an example. A customer of ours in North America had 12 analytical use cases. And he put 2 out to 6 vendors. Said, I want you to solve these for us. We were luckily one of those vendors that got 2 of those use cases. Now, I'm not doing a sales pitch here on Amdocs, but obviously our systems are generating a lot of this data, right? We were able to get the data out of the systems and analytics ready in 6 weeks versus our competitors. The nearest one was 17 weeks. So getting that data out, hydrated, analytics ready is key. Key to service providers. Otherwise, as I heard it mentioned before, it was a good term, it goes stale. Resources. Heard it before in Stuart's presentation around video. You know, what we've seen is there's data scientists out there, but they have to be specific to the domain. You need telecom-specific data scientists. Okay, without that, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. We're working closely with academia, helping them define their MSc courses in data science, indeed with a view to telecoms as well. But there's also another resource, and it goes back to the hard work, and I've coined this term. Everyone talks about data scientists, sexy job, sexiest job in the world, but the data plumbers, the guys who can get that data out, cleanse it, and hydrate it in the lake, that's of equal importance. Doesn't sound quite as cool. I'd rather be a data scientist if I handed someone my business card than a data plumber, but it's key, it's crucial, and it's been overlooked in the last 12 months. So the needs are drive more insights, reduce cost, open up your data to third party. The challenges, as I mentioned, the cleansing, extraction of the data, moving to the new technologies and the resource. And at Amdocs, 12 months on from that initial announcement, not only do we have the platform and extension of analytics, but we also have the professional services that can plug the gap in the resource deficit for data scientists and data plumbers. One of the biggest requests we get at the moment are customers who need to transform from the enterprise legacy data warehouse scenario to the data lakes and distributed storage powers of the future. So we also provide the analytics, etc. And one of our keys is the data sources. Our platform comes with pre-integrated data collectors. So you can get the data out of the systems, not just from Amdocs sources, but from third-party sources as well. Quickly hydrate the lake, make it clean, and put your analytics to work. Here's an example of the services we offer. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through every one in detail, but it pretty much covers the whole big data spectrum, from collection of data, storage of data, and the analytics, the understanding of the data. And we have onshore, offshore resources in-house that can help our customer base get going, plug that deficit gap, and understand the benefits that can be derived from analytics. Our actually analytics solutions, we announced earlier on this month an extension to our existing portfolio. So when I talked about the different buying towers within a service provider, we have applications, analytical applications out of the box, ready to go to support those towers. Whether it's deep network analytics, the ability to combine BSS data with, say, radio access network data. Know where to invest in your radio network based on where the value is. Okay? Typically, network planning decisions have been based on, well, where's that cell site? What are the technical factors that's going on there? Regardless of the fact that that cell site could actually be serving just 100 sheep with very low ARPU and data throughput. But we can do predictive maintenance, identify a network fault before it happens. Moving forward, we have consumer and business satisfaction analytics. Now, what's interesting here is we know that boardroom level remuneration and bonus packages are now based on customer experience. NPS is a key driver at C-level. They need to improve that customer experience. It's a key differentiator anyway. And of course, it's Amdocs' mantra. So these analytics allow you to materially improve the Net Promoter Score and customer satisfaction, whether it's across your corporate base, consumer base, and so on. The one that interests me is marketing. What analytics will do to the marketing tower. Because I spent many years marketing at Vodafone Group, and I know how it works and how you do your segmentation, how you do your campaigns. You spend a lot of money, target a segment, go above the line, lots of coverage. But to have the tools to provide laser-guided precision marketing is a significant change. And it does a number of things. It lowers the cost of your marketing outlay. It's a cost-saving, tick in the box. You improve your marketing success rates, so you improve your revenues, tick in the box. But you also improve your customer experience. And this is a real-life example, and it relates to my wife. My wife recently churned off a service provider in the UK because she was going berserk, that every day she was getting hit with an unnecessary, superfluous offer that didn't apply to her. Every day, whether it was an SMS message, whether it was an email, whether it was an outbound call. And it drove her to the point of churn. Unnecessary marketing. And churn reduction is key for a service provider as well. And what we also offer is data management services. I talked about that. That's the data plumbing, the hard work element of the model I've talked about. So in 12 months, we've grown our portfolio. We've focused very heavily on these services that we didn't announce a year ago to deal with the hard work element that is missing right now. For all of you in the room, this was a recent campaign, but we have an interactive ebook available on amdocs.com, our big data page. What you can do here is dive down into all the analytics I just touched upon to get a feel. What does it look like? How does the screenshot look? What are the benefits? What data sources do we need to ingest to create these analytics? That's available online. Please take a look at it. It's a nice piece of marketing, but it takes the big data away from the technicalities and makes it very visual as far as the demonstrable business benefits that this can deliver. This is the Consumer and Business Satisfaction Suite designed to improve CSAT and NPS. An example here is our proactive care. We would know before a customer picks up the phone and calls a call center to complain about a problem. We can cut it off. We can anticipate it through the various data sources and take proactive action to stop those inbound calls. Or it could be enterprise experience management, where we know that an account manager can look at his customer base and say, those guys, that customer is receiving a bad experience, and quantify the actual tangible elements that are contributing to that bad experience. That's what this suite is designed to do. Again, check it out. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail in the interest of time, but that's how it would visualize itself on the enterprise experience management. Deep network analytics, touched on that. Again, combining network data with BSS data to throw up insights on where you should invest in your network, where the problem spots are. Is a network component trending into failure? Again, you're reducing your OPEX, you're making the business more efficient, and you're improving the customer experience. Again, check it out. In the interest of time, I'm not going to walk through what the application does. And then high definition marketing. This is the bit that excites me. Now you can treat your customer as a segment of one, target them automatically with the right offer at the right time, driving down costs, improving customer experience, and improving your bottom line revenue. And this, to me, I think over the next 12 months is going to be huge as more and more CMOs and marketing organizations look to big data to improve their operations. And that's it. And very quickly, I've done it bang on time. There we go. But I've just taken you through what we've seen over the last 12 months, the challenges in our customer base, and the length and breadth of our portfolio now that's there to serve our customers. So thank you very much.